Another NFL draft is upon us, and we're all wondering who the Arizona Cardinals will take at number 13. But on this week's Arizona Sports Face-Off, we'll look back at the best and worst of Cards draft history, and it's next here on ArizonaSports.com.
My name is Adam Green. This is Vince Marotta, and we're a couple of big Cardinals fans who don't want to remember a lot of the bad drafts that the Cardinals have had.
And there's been a lot.
There's been a lot of bad drafts for the Cardinals.
And we will get into that a little bit later.
A little bit later, but that's going to be in a fun way, I think, if you can have fun with bad picks. But Vince, best draft pick, Arizona Cardinals history. Give it your best shot.
No brainer for me. Third overall pick, 2004. Larry Fitzgerald out of Pittsburgh. I would say it's worked out pretty well for the Cardinals and Larry Fitzgerald. At the current time, in my opinion, the best wide receiver in football. I think he's got a chance to surpass Jerry Rice and erase all of his records before it's all said and done. He's 8 years into his career, and he's just getting better. He's been a model citizen, a great ambassador for the community and the game. Tremendous draft pick that's worked out unbelievably well for the Cardinals.
No, he's been great. Larry Fitzgerald, if he's not the best wide receiver in football, is one of the top 3 wide receivers in football. But here's the thing. They took him third overall in the draft, and at third overall, you're supposed to get a really good player. And they did that. So great job for not messing it up. But that can't be the best pick in Arizona Cardinals history.
Who is it?
It is Aeneas Williams, third-round pick in 1991. Shut down corner to get one there at a tiny college. He shut down guys like Michael Irvin. He actually tackled, unlike Deion Sanders, who was regarded as one of the best corners of that era. And he had that 103-yard fumble return in 2000 against the Redskins. That a couple of days later, after a big win over the Redskins, the Cardinals team that won, I think, 4 games that year, ended up getting their vote passed for their new stadium. And you can't underestimate the fact that coming off a win, people are a lot more energized about the team.
That's true.
And Aeneas Williams had a big role in that. One of the best corners, if not the best corner of that era. And he's in the Cardinals Ring of Honor, and he's going to be an NFL Hall of Famer.
He should be. He played on a lot of bad teams, and I think
did.
that's what's holding him back right now of not being in the Hall of Fame just yet. But I agree with you. He will get there. Hard to argue with that. Great pick.
I agree.
Third round. Next category, best late round pick. We can always concentrate on the early picks. Like you said, you're not supposed to mess those up.
Well, the Cardinals often did.
They did, especially in the St. Louis days. Best late round pick for me, 1998, 7th round, a linebacker out of Arizona State, Pat Tillman, who made the conversion to safety when he got into the league, and as a 7th round pick started as a rookie that first season for the Arizona Cardinals. We know the legend of Pat Tillman, what he meant to the organization, what he's meant to this community. At the time, it was considered a PR pick, making the local fans happy. Turns out he could play a little bit too, and made an impact well beyond football.
And that's the thing with Pat Tillman, his impact in a way, it goes beyond what he did on the field, because on the field he was a good player, but he wasn't a great player. He was a little bit, I don't want to say overrated, but he was okay as a safety. He was going to be replaced the year before he left to join the Marines anyway, to join where he was. But the best late round pick is Larry Centers. Guy was a 5th rounder. He's a Pro Bowler, led the Cardinals, and again, some really bad Cardinals teams in receptions. But he was there every single game, night in, night out, day in, day out. He was their best player and pretty much their only offensive option. And if you remember one of his best moments against the Dallas Cowboys, Monday Night Football on Christmas Eve, or on Christmas, leaps over Larry Brown. They lost that game. They lost a lot of games.
They lost by 100 points.
But that play right there, it's in that famous movie Jerry Maguire,
yes,
which I like watching oftentimes just because of this play and the fact that the Cardinals made the playoffs.
They would have been better off that year with Rod Tidwell at receiver.
Well, who wouldn't
be? Turns out. All right, moving on. Next category, biggest bust. To refute your earlier claim that when you have the number 3 overall pick, you're not supposed to miss on those guys, the Cardinals did miss. Back in 1998 when they picked Andre Wadsworth, who was a can't-miss prospect, defensive end, out of Florida State, went behind Peyton Manning and Ryan Leaf. He was supposed to be the game changer for the Arizona Cardinals. Started for 1 year. I think he led the league in knee surgeries for the next 3 years and was out of football after 3 seasons and had 8 combined sacks. That's a pick that they did miss on. And Andre Wadsworth, nice guy, great college player, big bust in the NFL.
But now he owns a franchise of Whataburgers, I think. He's one of the franchisees there. So that's something good for Andre Wadsworth.
Another interesting bit of knowledge. I did not know that.
That's what we bring to you here on the Arizona Sports Face-Off. But the biggest bust is Matt Leinart. When you take a quarterback, 10th overall, in the first round especially, you're expecting him to be the quarterback of the future, the franchise guy. And in his rookie season, he looked like he might be just that, and it was all downhill from there. And the biggest problem isn't so much how bad he was, because he wasn't the worst quarterback you'll ever see, or the worst quarterback that any team's ever drafted in the first round. But when you draft that guy and he misses, it sets you back. Look at the Cardinals. They still don't have a franchise quarterback. They went through a year with Derek Anderson, Max Hall, and John Skelton. Then they've traded a lot to get Kevin Cobb, and they're still not sure because they missed on Matt Leinart in 2006.
Well, I'll give Matt Leinart a break because the guy he lost his job to was Kurt Warner, who took the Cardinals to a Super Bowl and does belong in the Hall of Fame too, in my opinion. So we've spoken on several categories. Now it's your turn. Find us on the Face-Off page at ArizonaSports.com. Make your votes, your voice heard on all of these categories. Best pick, best late round pick, biggest bust in Cardinals draft history as we get ready for the 2012 NFL Draft. For Adam Green, I'm Vince Marotta. We'll see you next time here on the ArizonaSports.com Face-Off.